Have you ever looked at someone and thought, how is it possible for one person to make everything seem so effortless? The smile looks natural. The camera loves them. Every photo becomes iconic. Every appearance becomes a headline. And yet, what if the most impressive thing about them isn't what the world sees, but what the world doesn't? Because recently, BTS gave fans a rare glimpse behind the curtain, a glimpse into the making of Jin's merry-go-round music video. And what fans discovered wasn't just another beautiful visual. It was something far more revealing. It was the story of an artist, a perfectionist, a professional who refuses to settle for good enough. At the exact same time, BTS was receiving recognition from some of the most influential music publications in the world for their latest album, ARIRANG'. Two separate stories. One focused on Jin, one focused on BTS. But together they reveal something extraordinary. The reason BTS continues to stand at the top of global music after all these years. So what exactly did fans see? And why are critics across America and the United Kingdom calling ARIRANG' one of the defining albums of 2026? Let's dive in. Because this story is bigger than a music video, and bigger than an album. It's a story about passion, growth, identity, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. When BTS released the behind-the-scenes footage for Merry-Go-Round, many fans expected to see the usual moments. A few laughs, some filming clips, perhaps a funny interaction or two. Instead, they witnessed something fascinating. The video opens a window into Jin's creative process, and almost immediately, one thing becomes obvious. Jin isn't someone who simply arrives on set and waits for instructions. He's involved, deeply involved. Before filming begins, he studies the monitor carefully. Not for a few seconds, not casually. He watches attentively, analyzing every frame, examining every detail, looking for ways to make each scene stronger. It's the kind of behavior people rarely see because the final product usually hides all the work that came before it. When fans watch a 3-minute music video, they see magic. What they don't see are the countless decisions required to create that magic. The angle of the camera, the timing of a glance, the intensity of an expression, the emotional weight behind a single look. And throughout the behind-the-scenes footage, Jin is shown repeatedly checking those details, returning to the monitor, reviewing takes, discussing ideas with staff, sharing opinions, listening carefully, then reviewing everything again. It is a reminder that artistry is often built through repetition. The greatest performances are rarely accidents. They are crafted, refined, polished, over and over again. And perhaps that's what makes the footage so captivating, because fans aren't simply watching Jin perform, they're watching Jin work. And there is something incredibly inspiring about seeing someone who has already achieved so much continue to push himself. Think about it. This is not a rookie artist trying to prove himself. This is a member of BTS, one of the most successful groups in music history. Someone who has sold millions of albums, performed in stadiums, broken records, won countless awards. Yet there he is, standing in front of a monitor, still searching for ways to improve, still looking for perfection, still treating every project as if it matters. Because to him, it does. One of the most memorable moments from the footage involves Jin's emotional acting. And this is where things become truly fascinating. Anyone can memorize choreography. Anyone can learn where to stand. Anyone can follow directions. But conveying emotion? That's different. Emotion can't be faked convincingly. Audiences know when a feeling is real. They can sense authenticity. And throughout the filming process, Jin appears completely immersed in the emotional world of the song. His facial expressions become subtle storytelling tools. His eyes communicate thoughts that words never could. A slight movement, a brief glance, a tiny change in expression, and suddenly an entire emotional narrative unfolds. This is one of the reasons fans often describe Jin's performances as cinematic. He doesn't simply appear in a frame, he inhabits it, he transforms it, he makes viewers feel something. And in an era where attention spans grow shorter every day, that ability is incredibly powerful. Because making someone stop scrolling is difficult, making someone feel is even harder. Yet somehow Jin continues to do both. The atmosphere of the music video itself adds another layer to the story. Several scenes feature Jin wearing elegant gray-toned clothing beneath dim lighting. The result is breathtaking. The soft shadows create depth, the the muted colors create intimacy. The lighting seems almost designed to emphasize every emotion crossing his face. Fans quickly describe the visuals as artistic, dreamlike, almost like scenes from a movie rather than a traditional music video. And perhaps that's because every element appears carefully considered. Nothing feels random, nothing feels rushed. Everything serves a purpose. Everything contributes to the emotional experience. But here's what makes the timing of all this so remarkable. While fans were admiring Jin's dedication behind the scenes, BTS was simultaneously receiving some of the biggest critical recognition of their career. Their fifth studio album, ARIRANG, wasn't merely performing well. It was dominating conversations among critics, across continents, across publications, across cultures, and the praise was impossible to ignore. Major American publication Complex selected ARIRANG as one of the best albums of 2026. For many artists, that alone would be a career-defining achievement. But BTS wasn't finished. Then came recognition from Rolling Stone, a publication whose influence on music journalism stretches across generations. Their assessment carried enormous weight. Rolling Stone described BTS's comeback as the biggest news in the global music market during 2026. Think about the scale of that statement. The global music industry generates countless headlines every year. Thousands of artists release new music. Hundreds of major stars compete for attention. Yet BTS's return stood above all of it. Not just as an important event, but as the event. And the publication didn't stop there. They specifically praised BTS for brilliantly incorporating Korean identity into their music. That observation is important, because it highlights something that has always separated BTS from many artists. Rather than moving away from their cultural roots as their popularity expanded internationally, they leaned into them. They embraced them. They celebrated them. And through ARIRANG, they transformed those cultural elements into something that resonates with listeners around the world. Soon after, NME offered similarly glowing praise. The British music publication described BTS as the world's biggest boy band. But what stood out even more was their explanation of why the album works. According to NME, BTS excels at blending Korean cultural heritage with global musical influences. In simpler terms, they know exactly who they are. And that confidence allows them to connect with everyone else. It's a difficult balance. Many artists struggle with it. Some become so focused on global appeal that they lose their identity. Others become so focused on tradition that they struggle to reach broader audiences. BTS somehow achieves both. They remain unmistakably Korean while simultaneously speaking to listeners across every continent. That's not easy. It's rare. And critics are noticing. The praise continued. The Telegraph included ARIRANG among the best albums released so far in 2026. Salon named it the best album of the year. Reviewers repeatedly highlighted the group's storytelling, their versatility, their musical ambition, their willingness to experiment without losing their essence. And perhaps that's what makes this moment feel special. ARIRANG isn't being praised because BTS is famous. It's being praised because critics genuinely believe the music deserves recognition. The album's songs also received individual attention. Tracks such as Hooligan, Swim, 2.0, and Body to Body emerged as standout favorites. Music publications praised the group's ability to move seamlessly between genres, one moment delivering aggressive hip-hop, the next creating emotionally rich melodies, the next exploring entirely different sounds. Yet somehow maintaining a clear artistic identity throughout. That versatility has always been one of BTS's greatest strengths, and ARIRANG may be one of the strongest examples yet. But perhaps the most emotional part of this entire story is what it reveals about the members themselves. Success changes many people. Sometimes it makes them comfortable. Sometimes it makes them cautious. Sometimes it makes them stop taking risks. Yet BTS seems to have moved in the opposite direction. The larger their success becomes, the harder they seem to work. The more they achieve, the more ambitious they become. Look at Jin, a global superstar still studying monitors between takes, still discussing details with staff, still striving for perfection. Now look at BTS, one of the biggest groups on Earth, still experimenting creatively, still pushing boundaries, still searching for new ways to tell stories. That mindset may be their greatest strength, Not talent, not visuals, not fame, not awards. The mindset, the belief that there is always another level to reach, another challenge to embrace, another story to tell. And now, a new chapter is beginning. BTS is preparing to continue their ARIRANG World Tour with performances in Madrid, Spain. From there, the journey expands across Europe, Japan, the Middle East, and many other regions around the world. 88 shows, 34 locations, millions of fans, millions of memories waiting to be created. Some fans will see them for the first time, while others will reunite with artists who helped shape important moments in their lives. But all of them will witness something special, because they won't just be watching performers, they'll be watching artists who continue to evolve. Artists who refuse to stand still. Artists who still approach every stage, every album, every music video, and every moment with passion. And maybe that's the real reason BTS continues to inspire people around the world. It's not because they reached the top. It's because even after reaching the top, they never stopped climbing. And as fans watched Jin quietly review scenes on a monitor during the filming of Merry Go Round, they may have witnessed the secret behind everything. Not the visuals, not the fame, not the records, the effort, the dedication, the endless desire to become better than yesterday. Because greatness isn't created during the spotlight. Greatness is created in the moments nobody notices. The moments before the camera rolls. The moments after everyone else goes home. The moments spent perfecting details that audiences may never consciously recognize. And judging by everything we've seen in 2026, Jin and BTS are still creating those moments. Still dreaming bigger, still working harder, still writing new chapters in a story that seems far from over. And if ARIRANG's success and Jin's breathtaking merry-go-round behind-the-scenes footage have shown us anything, it's that the most exciting part of BTS's journey may not be what they've already accomplished. It may be what comes next.